So yeah, just to follow on from what Stuart was saying and introduce the Sustainable Mobility Cluster Builder a little bit. So what is the Sustainable Mobility Cluster Builder? We were set up, or the initiative was set up by Scottish Enterprise in collaboration with Transport Scotland. Really what we're about at the end of the day is bringing together the communities in Scotland. Oops, sorry. Yeah, bring together communities in Scotland to form a community, basically to pursue opportunities and help the Scottish government decarbonise transportation. As I said, we kind of help companies innovate, collaborate, and grow. At the end of the day, I guess we want to make all our businesses a little bit more successful. Sorry, I'm going to whip through some of this quite quickly because we only have a few minutes here. Specifically, I mentioned helping Scottish government achieve some of those targets, which Stuart mentioned. It's an initial step towards growing in a larger initiative in Scotland as well, kind of the exploratory stage. We want to primarily foster better linkages and raise awareness of organisations across Scotland working in mobility and transportation, and specifically decarbonisation. Being aware of what everyone's doing through events like this, I think is absolutely key to that. And at the end of the day, you build that community that I referred to. So what does that include? We often think about just the good old ground transportation, but there are a lot of factors that come into it. We also cover off aviation and maritime, for example. Some of those are some of the biggest emitters, especially in Scotland with the ferries. They make a significant contribution to those emissions as well. But we do get into the logistics side of things and some of the more technical areas, connected and automated vehicles, as well as the powertrain, which is what we're here to talk about today, largely. I'm glad to see that the numbers we came up with somewhat match what Stuart was saying. So just covering off on a few numbers here. As far as what the contribution to Scotland is, it's 10% of the economy. What that means is, 175,000 people employed in transportation, and over 11,000 businesses. So it is fairly significant. Transportation mobility does impact most, what do we say? Most sort of industries in some way, shape, or form. The goals there are down the right-hand side, fairly significant goals. Just doing that breakdown between maritime, rail, aviation, and road transportation. They're all contributing there as well, so all very important. So specifically, what does the Sustainable Mobility Cluster Builder do for you? We've been charged with providing different types of support for small businesses in Scotland. We basically help companies foster their ideas and clarify the opportunities when pursuing things like funding and collaborations. We help implementing, and these are just examples of some of the things we do. Basically help support small businesses because every SME is somewhat resource constrained, so we get involved in that. We do collaborate with companies on different bids and funding opportunities, whether as a partner or just helping read over funding applications, as well as using different methods to sort of stimulate innovation. And again, this is just a couple of high-level ideas. The way we usually engage with SMEs to provide the fully funded support that we do is start with a conversation to understand what your needs and challenges are. Another way we support is through events like this. These are some of the events from last year. If you missed them, I know there are a lot of familiar faces on the call, so you'll only be too familiar with some of these events that we've held. Looking forward to next year, this year, we're already there. These are some of the topics we're looking at now. We haven't locked down the exact topics for our events. We sort of welcome input on this. Scotland has significant capability in a number of these areas, so we want to explore those a little bit more and find out in more detail how they apply, especially around the robotics and sensors traditionally applied in subsea operations, artificial intelligence and machine learning being applied a lot in the fintech area, batteries and energy storage. Here we are today. So yeah, any other ideas, let us know. We probably can't do this many events this year, but happy to entertain all ideas. Another way we sort of work with companies is we have basically a pitch book promoting companies in Scotland doing interesting things in mobility. I believe Catherine's going to put a link to that in the chat. But please do reach out if you feel your organization should be included in there as well. How to get involved? We have a LinkedIn group, Sustainable Mobility Cluster Builder. Sign up to our newsletter or our contact list as by sending us an email at that email address, and we can keep you updated on the events as we go forward. And that is the Sustainable Mobility Cluster Builder, very brief overview. Whistle stop tour in probably a lot more than 5 minutes.